Welcome back to your daily therapy. You're here because you're stuck on that one person. Maybe you're trying to win someone over, or maybe you're trying to fix a relationship that's turned cold. But here's the truth that most people don't want to admit. Most go about this all wrong. They pour themselves out, bend over backward, get clingy, and practically turn themselves into a puppet for the other person. And what happens? They get ignored. They get pushed away. They end up feeling like trash. So let's make something clear from the start. Chasing someone, begging for their attention, or being always there doesn't win hearts. It loses them. You might think that showing how much you care will make them like you more, but all that does is make them pull away. Why? Because neediness isn't attractive. If you act desperate, you'll become invisible in their eyes. Here's the real deal. People are drawn to strength, confidence, and mystery. The stuff the Stoics mastered thousands of years ago. The Stoics didn't waste time chasing approval or begging for attention. They believed in being solid and strong on their own. They didn't need to be anyone's puppet. They weren't chasing, they were centered. And that's exactly what we're talking about here today. Imagine this. You walk into a room and you're not running after anyone or trying to make them notice you. You're just there, owning your space, focused, calm, and not giving a single thought to who notices you. Guess what? People start noticing. It's like you're this magnet that everyone can feel but can't quite figure out. They'll think, who is this person, and why do they seem so different? That's the power of Stoic confidence. Stop playing weak games like texting non-stop or waiting around for their messages. Stop trying to be something you're not. You'll just end up on the bottom of their priority list. Acting like their puppet won't make them fall in love with you. It'll make them ignore you. But when you stand up tall, when you're cool, collected, and in control of your own happiness, that's when people start paying attention. That's when you become unforgettable. So, how do you do this? You learn the Stoic way. It's not about showing off or trying to act cool. It's about being calm and unshakable. Imagine walking through life without letting anyone else control your feelings or your happiness. Imagine them looking at you, wondering why you're not chasing, why you're not desperate. They'll start wondering, what's different about this person? Why aren't they like everyone else? When you stop trying so hard to make someone like you and start focusing on becoming someone worth noticing, you become powerful. People get drawn to you, not because you're putting on a show, but because you're real. You're strong. And that's the key. Making someone fall for you isn't about acting like their servant or throwing yourself at their feet. It's about making them want to be around you because your energy is something that they can't ignore. Now, before we dive into the Stoic tactics that'll get you there, I've got a quick challenge for you. Drop a comment below with these words. On their mind tomorrow. Say it like you mean it. This is about becoming someone so unforgettable that you're on their mind. Not because you're begging for it, but because your confidence and calm make you stand out. Stick around. Today, we're going to break down powerful Stoic tactics that'll make them realize you're worth it. Someone strong, someone real, someone they can't stop thinking about. Let's get into it. Number 1, the magical Stoic independence. So folks, the first thing that grabs attention, the first thing that makes someone look up and take notice is independence, the real kind of independence. I'm talking about Stoic independence, the kind that says, I don't need anyone to feel whole. This isn't just about doing things alone or saying you're okay on your own. This is the kind of independence that runs so deep that when you walk into a room, people feel your presence without you lifting a finger. This isn't a show, a front, or a strategy. It's your core, and when you have it, people can't help but be drawn to it. Let me paint the picture for you. Imagine you're that person. You're not chasing anyone, not begging for attention, not sacrificing your time or dignity just to get a glance. You're cool, calm, collected. You're out there living your life, focused on your goals, working on your health, enjoying time with friends, investing in yourself. You're not frantically checking your phone or stressing over whether they'll call back. This kind of confidence, it's powerful, it's magnetic. People notice it because it's rare. Now you might be thinking, but won't that just push them further away? Won't they think I'm not interested? That's the fear talking. And that fear, it's exactly what ruins real attraction. Independence doesn't scream, "I don't care about you." It says, "I'm secure in myself, with or without you." This is what pulls people in. Because people, whether they know it or not, are drawn to those who aren't afraid to stand alone. They sense your strength, and it makes them want to be a part of it. Think about it. Would you rather be someone who's constantly worried, anxiously waiting for a response, always available, or someone who's confident, self-assured, and living a full life on their own terms? When you show that you're thriving, that you don't need their attention to feel complete, you create a powerful pull. Why? Because people value what's rare, and independence, true independence, is rare. Let's take a scenario. Say you're trying to attract someone new. Everyone else is flooding their inbox, trying to impress them, bending over backward for a little attention. But not you. You're busy living, following your own path. Maybe you're hitting the gym, working on your career, diving into hobbies you love. You're not trying to fill up every moment with their presence. And that lack of desperation, it's like a magnet. They start wondering, why aren't they chasing me like everyone else? What's different about them? And that's where attraction is born, because they see you as valuable. Or maybe it's someone who's pulled back. You're already involved, but they're starting to drift. Most people panic in that situation. They get clingy, they start texting more, checking in constantly, hoping to win that person back with more and more attention. But not you. You lean back, pull your energy into yourself, focus on what you need, and let them feel that space. You're saying, without a single word, "I'm good, with or without you." And that makes them rethink taking you for granted. Now, does this mean you ignore them completely? Not at all. This isn't about playing games or disappearing. Stoic independence is about balance. You're there, but you're not desperate. You're not running away, but you're not running after them either. You're still present, but on your terms. And that independence doesn't push people away. It pulls them in, because now they're seeing someone who's grounded, strong, and steady, not someone who's on a leash. Here's the harsh truth. Constantly trying to prove your worth to someone doesn't work. It only makes them undervalue you. Why? Because you're showing them that you don't believe you're enough without their validation. Independence is about showing them that your love, your attention, your energy, it's worth something. You don't throw it around. You don't hand it out for free. You don't give yourself away to just anyone. And when you do, it's because you choose to, not because you're looking for approval. Think about Seneca's words, a Stoic who lived by these principles. It's not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. This hits hard, because that's exactly what happens when you chase, when you make yourself small, when you let fear run your life. You waste your time, your energy, your heart on people who don't even value it. When you're busy chasing, you're letting yourself become someone's backup option. But when you stand in your independence, you make people realize they're the ones who need to show up, to rise up to meet you. You stop being the backup and start being the one they chase. So, how do you live this kind of independence? Start with filling up your own life. Invest in things that make you feel fulfilled, whether they're in it or not. Pick up that passion project, work on your career, spend quality time with friends, improve yourself every single day. Make your life so full that their presence is a bonus, not a necessity. You're not here to complete anyone, and they're not here to complete you. If you're interested in someone, don't drop everything just because they suddenly give you attention. Let them see that you're someone with a life, someone who doesn't hang around waiting. And if someone you're involved with grows distant, let them feel the space. Let them see that their absence doesn't shake your world. Show them that you're perfectly fine without their constant attention. This creates a level of respect that is impossible to fake. And if you're wondering, but what if they leave? What if they lose interest? Here's the truth. If someone's only around because you're constantly making an effort, they're not worth your time. You want someone who respects you, who values you, who's willing to put in the effort to keep you close. Not someone who's only there when you're bending over backward. And guess what? The right person, they'll step up. They'll see your worth without you having to spell it out. So stop asking yourself, what if they don't notice me if I don't chase? Stop wondering if your independence will scare them off. Real attraction isn't about you begging, pleading, or adjusting yourself for them. It's about showing up as you, strong and unbothered, and letting them realize what they're missing out on. Marcus Aurelius, another great Stoic, once said, "The happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts." So change your thinking. Stop looking for their approval. Start living in a way that says, "I'm enough, with or without them." Show them that your life is full, that you're not sitting around waiting on anyone. When you stand in your independence, people see you as someone strong, complete, and worth being around. Now, to lock this mindset in, let's do an affirmation together. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and say this: I am done chasing. Say it again, louder this time. Let it sink in. Feel the weight of those words, and let that power stay with you. This is the mindset that will set you apart, that will make you unforgettable. Now, hold tight, because next, we're diving even deeper. We'll break down how to use that rock-solid independence to communicate in a way that keeps them guessing and craving more. Stick with me. This is just the beginning of how you can attract, hold, and command attention the Stoic way. Let's go. Number 2, the less is more approach to communication. So folks, let's talk about something that most people mess up without even realizing: communication. When you like someone, it's tempting to text them constantly, share every little thought, and keep the conversation going as long as possible. But here's the thing, when you're always there, always texting, always available, it doesn't create closeness, it creates noise. Instead of building attraction, it drowns it out. So let me introduce you to the Stoic way. The less is more approach to communication. Think about this. Every word you say, every text you send, it's like $1 you're spending. If you're constantly spending with message after message, it quickly becomes cheap, less special. But when you hold back, when you're thoughtful, your words gain weight. They leave an impact. This isn't about playing games or ignoring someone. It's about showing that you're not desperate for attention. When you're selective with your words, it says, "I'm confident. I don't need to keep chasing, and I'm okay with a little silence." That's powerful. It's different. and it makes people take notice. Imagine this scenario. You send a meaningful, well-thought-out message, something that actually sparks curiosity. And then, you leave it. You don't follow up with more texts. You don't start checking your phone every 5 minutes. And you're not afraid of the silence. You're okay with letting things breathe. You're showing that your life is full, that you're not anxiously waiting for their response. You let them be the one who reaches out next, who gets curious, who starts to wonder about you. That pause you create, it speaks volumes. It says, I know my value, and I'm not here to entertain anyone. I'm here for real connection. Now, I know what you're thinking. Won't that push them away? Won't they lose interest if I don't keep the conversation going? Here's the truth. If they're only interested when you're constantly in their inbox, then they're not really interested in you. Real attraction, real connection happens when there's room to breathe, room to think, and room for them to actually miss you. When you leave a little space, you're giving them a chance to wonder, to look forward to the next time they hear from you. And that's what makes them start thinking, why aren't they messaging me non-stop? What are they up to? That's where curiosity grows, where attraction starts to build. Think of it like your favorite song. If you played it over and over, non-stop, eventually it would lose its magic, right? The same goes for communication. When you're always there, always talking, you become just another sound in the background. But when you pull back, when you let the silence play, your words become like that favorite song that they can't wait to hear again. Every message feels like a gift, something they appreciate because it's not constant. It's rare, it's intentional, and that's what makes it memorable. So let's say you're in the early stages of getting to know someone. Most people would jump in with text after text, trying to keep the conversation alive, afraid of any pause. But not you. You're calm. You're thoughtful, and you're not afraid of silence. Instead of dropping everything to reply instantly, you give it a minute. You're showing that you're not glued to your phone, waiting around. You're giving them a taste of who you are, a person who values their time, who's not begging for attention. Now, imagine you're in a relationship, but things are feeling a bit off, a bit distant. The natural reaction is to text more, to check in constantly, to fix it by communicating more. But here's the magic of less is more. Instead of overwhelming them with messages, you pull back slightly. You give them space to miss you, to think about you, to remember why they wanted you in their life in the first place. You send a thoughtful message, check in sincerely, but then you let it breathe. You're not chasing. You're showing confidence in the relationship. You're saying, I'm here, but I'm not desperate. That calm, that restraint, that's what speaks louder than any number of texts ever could. And look, this isn't easy at first. It's natural to want to stay in touch, to keep the connection alive, to make sure everything's okay. But here's the hard truth. If you're constantly trying to keep their attention, it can backfire. People remember the ones who aren't always there, who give them something to think about. When you're not filling every moment with texts, you create mystery. And mystery? That's what gets people curious. That's what makes them reach out, wondering, what's going on with them? Why aren't they messaging like everyone else? Think of this approach like fishing. You don't throw in a dozen hooks all at once hoping for a bite. You cast your line, and then you wait. You don't pull it up every 5 seconds just to check if you've caught something. You let it sit. You give it time. Same with communication. You send out your message, and you trust that it's enough. You're not frantically texting to keep their interest. You're letting them feel the weight of your words. And when they come back around, when they reach out to you, You respond with the same thoughtful energy, letting each reply have meaning. The Stoic way isn't about talking less. It's about talking with purpose. It's about knowing that real connection doesn't happen when you flood someone's inbox. It happens when you communicate with meaning. So, whether you're starting something new or you're trying to strengthen a relationship, try this. Pause before you send that next message. Ask yourself, does this add value, or am I just trying to fill a gap? If it doesn't add value, hold back. You're giving them something rare, a little bit of silence to let your presence grow in their mind. And remember, this isn't about ignoring them or playing hard to get. It's about showing that you're confident enough to step back, to be okay with silence, to let them come to you. When you do that, you're building respect, intrigue, and attraction. They'll realize you're not someone who's always available, and that's what makes you stand out. So folks, as we close out this section, let's lock in that less is more mindset with a quick affirmation. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and say this: my words have power. Let that sink in. Feel the strength of knowing that you don't need to say more to mean more. Your confidence is in what you don't say, as much as in what you do. Stick with me, because next, we're going to dig even deeper into Stoic tactics that'll help you master self-control, create curiosity, and turn the way you communicate into pure attraction. This is only the start. Let's keep going. Number 3, showing emotional stability. So folks, let's get real about something that can make or break any attraction: emotional stability. When life throws curveballs, when things get tense or uncertain, most people panic or overreact. They let their emotions run wild, and that's exactly what makes them lose their grip on real connection. If you want someone to see you as someone worth sticking around for, you need to show emotional stability, the kind that stands strong when things get tough. Emotional stability isn't about pretending you don't have feelings or acting like nothing affects you. It's about having control over how you respond, no matter what life or relationships throw your way. When you're calm, collected, and able to handle difficult moments without losing your cool, you send a powerful message. You're someone who can handle life without falling apart. And that's attractive because it's rare. Imagine this. You're getting to know someone and things are going smoothly. Then, out of the blue, they cancel plans or don't text back right away. Most people would jump into overthinking mode, wondering if they did something wrong, maybe even sending a second or third text out of anxiety. But not you. You take a breath. You remind yourself that their actions aren't a reflection of your worth, and you carry on with your day. You don't let one little moment shake you. That calm response says, I'm secure enough to not let every little thing affect me. This kind of stability doesn't just make you look strong, it sets you apart from everyone else who gets thrown off course by the smallest change. People are drawn to those who can weather life's ups and downs with calm. When you can show emotional control, even in situations that test you, it shows that you're not just a good partner in the easy times, but in the hard ones too. Now let's flip it. You're in a relationship and there's some tension. Maybe you had a disagreement, or there's a little distance between you two. Most people's instinct is to react quickly, to say something out of frustration, to demand attention or reassurance. But showing emotional stability means taking a step back, gathering your thoughts, and coming back with a calm, thoughtful approach. Instead of adding fuel to the fire, you become the calming force. You're not someone who crumbles at the first sign of trouble. You're someone they can rely on, even when things aren't perfect. Seneca, a Stoic master, said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This is the core of emotional stability. Life, love, and relationships will test you. People will disappoint you, and things will go wrong. But the way you respond is what makes you different. Do you react impulsively, or do you keep your calm? When you show that you don't break under pressure, you earn respect. You show that you're someone who can handle more than just good times. Now, how do you make emotional stability a daily practice? Start by pausing when you feel that wave of emotion coming. When you feel anger, frustration, or fear, take a deep breath. Instead of reacting on impulse, step back. Take a moment to gather yourself. This isn't about ignoring how you feel. It's about showing that you control your emotions, not the other way around. For example, if you're talking to someone and they don't reply right away, resist the urge to send a follow-up text. Remind yourself that their silence doesn't define your value. This calmness will stand out. It makes them respect you, even if they don't realize it at first. And remember, emotional stability doesn't mean bottling up your feelings. It means you're in charge of how and when you express them. This mindset takes practice, and you won't always get it perfect. But each time you choose calm over chaos, you're building something solid in yourself and your connections. People fall in love with those who can handle life with grace and confidence, not those who fall apart at every bump in the road. Let's seal this in with a quick affirmation. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and say, "I am unshakable." Feel the strength in those words. Feel how powerful it is to be calm and in control, even when things get rough. Now, hold on, because next we'll dig deeper into how your stability creates respect, connection, and attraction. This is just the beginning of mastering your emotional power. Stick with me, and let's keep building that strength together. Number 4, keep your life busy. So folks, here's a truth bomb. If you want to become unforgettable, you need to have a life that's so full and exciting that someone else wants to be a part of it. A full life isn't just about looking busy. It's about building a world so interesting that people feel the pull of your energy. This isn't about showing off. It's about having a life so rich that someone else feels lucky just to be a part of it. Let's break this down. People are naturally drawn to those who have things going on, those who are constantly learning, growing, and experiencing new things. If all you do is wait around for someone's attention, they'll quickly get bored and drift away. Instead, create a life that's worth living with or without them. Dive into your hobbies, set some goals, focus on your career, spend time with friends and family, and take care of yourself. When someone sees that you're thriving on your own, it sparks curiosity. They start wondering, what makes their life so exciting? Why are they always busy? And that curiosity, it's the start of real attraction. Imagine this. You're interested in someone new, but instead of blowing up their phone or being available all the time, you're busy with things that matter to you. You're not anxiously waiting by the phone. You're out there, building your life. You're at the gym, meeting up with friends, or working on a passion project. This kind of focus on yourself shows that you value your time and that you're not sitting around waiting for someone else to complete you. You're already complete. And if you're in a relationship, the same rule applies. Too often, people lose themselves in relationships. They drop their goals, forget their friends, and give up their hobbies. But here's the thing. Losing yourself is the quickest way to lose someone's interest. When you keep your life full and active, even in a relationship, you're showing that you respect yourself and have your own purpose. You become someone who is constantly growing, constantly moving forward. And that, my friend, keeps the spark alive. Keeping your life busy doesn't mean filling it with random stuff. It means filling it with things that genuinely matter to you. If you're passionate about something, dive into it. If there's a skill you want to learn, go for it. The more you invest in yourself, the more attractive you become, not only to others, but to yourself. When you're proud of the life you're building, it radiates, and people can feel it. So here's an affirmation to lock this in. Close your eyes, take a deep breath and say, I live with purpose. Let those words remind you that you're building a life worth living, a life that doesn't depend on anyone else's presence to feel full. And hold tight, because up next, we're diving deeper into how living with purpose sets you apart. Stick with me, because this is just the beginning of building a life that draws others in without even trying. Let's go. Number 5, be present but not clingy. So folks, let's talk about striking a balance that so many struggle with. Being present without being clingy. When you're around someone you care about, it's natural to want to show your interest. But here's the hard truth. If you're always there, always texting, always ready to drop everything, you end up looking desperate, not devoted. To make a real impact, you have to learn to be there in a way that feels solid and secure, not needy and clingy. Think of it this way. You're like a lighthouse. You're there, standing strong, giving light when it's needed. But you're not following the ships around. You don't need to be all over them for them to know you're there. Being present means showing up in meaningful ways, giving your full attention when you're together, and genuinely listening. But it also means respecting their time and space, and letting them come to you when they're ready. This balance makes them feel your presence without feeling smothered by it. Imagine you've just started seeing someone new and things are going well. You're tempted to text them all day, to keep the conversation going, to be constantly available. But instead of flooding their inbox, you send a thoughtful message, share something meaningful, and then step back. You're showing that you're interested, but not desperate. You're saying, I'm here, I care, but I don't need to be attached at the hip to show it. This kind of calm confidence creates a healthy distance that keeps the interest alive. And in a relationship, this balance is just as crucial. If things start to feel a bit distant, the knee-jerk reaction is to push harder, to check in constantly, to make sure everything's okay. But being clingy doesn't fix distance. It often makes it worse. Instead, take a step back and let them breathe. Focus on your own life, your own goals, and give them space to miss you. When you show that you're secure enough to let them come to you, it creates respect. It shows that you're in control of your emotions, and that's attractive. The Stoics believe that happiness comes from living in the present. When you're fully present with someone, you're engaged, listening, and genuinely enjoying the moment. But when you're clingy, you're anxious about what's next, always needing reassurance. Being present but not clingy is about finding joy in the moment without worrying about what's to come. It's about showing you value their company, but don't need constant validation. Now, here's how to make this work. Start by setting boundaries with yourself. When you feel the urge to constantly text or call, pause. Ask yourself, am I doing this because I genuinely want to connect, or because I'm afraid of losing their attention? If it's fear, let it go. Trust that if they're meant to be in your life, they'll be there without you forcing it. And when you do reach out, make it count. Be genuine, be thoughtful, and then step back and let the connection breathe. Let's close with an affirmation to anchor this mindset. Close your eyes, take a deep breath and say, I am present, not needy. Feel the strength in those words. Know that your calm, steady presence is powerful without needing constant attention. Stick with me, because next we're going to explore how to harness your independence even further. This is just the start of becoming someone who draws others in without effort. Let's keep building that strength together. Number 6, the social media mastery. So folks, let's get real about something that plays a massive role in relationships today: social media. In a world where everyone's life is out there for all to see, knowing how to handle yourself online can set you apart. Social media mastery isn't about showing off every little detail of your life. It's about being intentional, selective, and leaving people intrigued. Here's the problem most people run into. They overshare. They post every meal, every thought, every feeling, and every night out. It sends the message that they're constantly seeking validation, and that kind of neediness is a turn-off. But here's the Stoic approach. Instead of being an open book, be more like a mystery novel. Share just enough to keep people curious, but leave some pages unturned. When you post with purpose, people will start to wonder about you, to think about what's happening behind the scenes. Imagine this. Instead of flooding your feed with selfies or play-by-plays of your day, you post occasionally and with intention. Maybe it's a photo of you out enjoying life, a snapshot of something that matters to you, or a small glimpse into your passions. And then you step back. You're not constantly liking or commenting on everything they do. You're not checking in every few minutes. You're showing them that while you're out there sharing a slice of your life, you're not desperate for attention. Think of your social media like a highlight reel, not a live stream. You're showing the best, the meaningful moments, without putting every detail on display. When you do this, it shows confidence, self-respect, and control. You're not out there for everyone's approval. You're sharing because you want to, not because you're fishing for likes. And guess what? That confidence draws people in. They start wondering, what's going on with them? Why don't they need everyone's attention? Now, if you're in a relationship, social media mastery is just as important. A relationship doesn't need to be plastered all over your feed to feel secure. Sometimes, keeping certain moments private, just between you and your partner, adds a sense of intimacy. It shows that you're not out to prove anything to anyone. When you keep some things private, it makes what you do share feel more meaningful, more real. And remember, the Stoics believed in focusing on what's within your control. You can't control how people react to what you post, but you can control how you present yourself. Instead of posting for others, post for yourself. Let your social media reflect a life that's full, confident, and interesting, without feeling like you need to shout it out to the world. Here's an affirmation to lock in this mindset. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath and say, I post with purpose. Let that remind you that your life is valuable and you don't need to share every detail to prove it. Hold tight, because up next, we're going even deeper into creating attraction by showing true authenticity. Stick with me as we continue building a version of you that stands out without even trying. Let's go. Number 7, be authentic, always. So folks, let's talk about something that makes you unforgettable, being real. In a world where everyone's trying to fit an image, the boldest move you can make is to be yourself, completely. Authenticity isn't just about being honest. It's about letting people see you for who you really are, not some polished pretend version. When you show up as yourself, flaws and all, People feel it, and it makes them want to stick around. Most people, when they're trying to win someone over, feel like they have to perform. They think if they say just the right things or hide their quirks, they'll get people's approval. But here's the thing, acting like someone you're not only builds fake connections. You end up getting stuck, feeling like you're playing a role instead of living your life. Real attraction, the kind that lasts, comes from showing up as you and being proud of it. Picture this. You meet someone new, and instead of thinking, "How can I impress them?" you ask, "What do I want them to know about me?" You talk about what excites you, the stuff you genuinely care about. You don't worry about coming across as perfect. You're just being real. That kind of confidence is magnetic because people don't see it often. When you're genuine, it shows them that you're comfortable in your own skin, and that's refreshing. Being authentic also means you're not changing yourself for anyone. You're not bending over backwards to become what you think someone else wants. When you stop trying to be what others expect, you let people see you, the real you. And here's the truth. That's what builds respect. People remember those who are honest about who they are, who aren't chasing approval. That's self-respect. It makes others respect you too. Imagine this if you're already in a relationship. Over time, it's easy to start hiding parts of yourself, thinking, will they still like me if they see this side? But the truth is, relationships built on real, authentic connection are the ones that last. Pretending to be someone you're not only leads to frustration and, eventually, a breakdown in trust. When you're honest and true to yourself, it gives your partner a chance to love you for who you really are, not just the version you show to the world. Authenticity also means not sugarcoating things just to keep the peace. You stand by your values, even if it makes you stand out. Think about it. Do you respect people more when they always agree, or when they stand their ground? When you're authentic, you're kind, but not a pushover. You're open-minded, but you don't let others change your beliefs. This integrity is what makes people respect you even more. Social media is a great place to see this difference. It's easy to get caught up, sharing only the highlight reel of life. But being authentic means showing up as yourself without pretending. When you share things that really matter to you, instead of what you think others want to see, people feel the difference. It's not about oversharing, it's about not hiding behind a polished filter. That's the difference people notice. Now, let's be honest, being real isn't always easy. It means risking that some people won't like you or might even misunderstand you. And that's okay. When you live authentically, you're not here for everyone's approval. You're here to connect with people who appreciate you for who you are. And those connections, they're stronger and more meaningful than any connection built on pretense. Marcus Aurelius put it simply, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. Stop worrying about how you should act to get someone to like you. Just be yourself. Show up as the real you, with all your quirks and unique traits. That's what makes you truly memorable and deeply attractive. Here's a practical way to embrace authenticity every day. Start asking yourself, am I doing this for me or for someone else's approval? Let go of actions that are just for others' validation and focus on what makes you feel true to yourself. When you stop performing, you start living. And when people see you as you really are, without the filters, they're naturally drawn to that. Let's close this out with an affirmation. Close your eyes, take a deep breath and say, I am real, always. Feel how empowering that is. When you live this way, you don't need to chase approval. You're already enough. This was it for today's video, folks. If this video hit home for you, make sure to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs this message today. Remember, real attraction isn't about chasing, faking, or playing games. It's about standing in your own power, living authentically, and building a life you love. When you're confident, steady, and true to yourself, the right people can't help but be drawn to you. So, keep pushing forward, stay grounded, and live life with purpose. You've got everything you need inside you. Stick with us for more insights, and I'll see you in the next one.